Weston Muir on the bump tonight for the Kane County Cougars, but before Weston takes them out, Matt Hardy coming out to throw out the first pitch. A wrestling legend. Colin, he had a big role in tables, ladders, and chairs getting involved in professional wrestling.
That's right. Introduced that match alongside Edge and Christian as well as Team 3D. Got a little bit of wrestling history to me as you see Matt Hardy. Pretty good form, but a smidge outside.
The execution not quite there, but great to have Matt in the house, part of the famous Hardy brothers. But Weston Muir, what a start to the year. He's had 4-2, a 3.90 ERA. And Colin, really just a tough start last time out against Milwaukee. But aside from that, Muir has been outstanding.
Absolutely. One quality start, but that doesn't really tell the picture. He's really only goes about 5 innings before the bullpen gets involved. But he's always just been such a great guy to get pitch to contact. Strikeout numbers up this year, though, up to 19.
Taking a look at the lineup for the Gary South Shore Railcats, pretty similar to yesterday, and we'll highlight the man in the cleanup spot, Colin Summerhill, who has done all kinds of damage. I'm sure he'll be a focus for Weston Muir tonight.
I would think so. Again, it seems like the offense just running straight through Summerhill. I'll also highlight Corey Howell, though, because he is a table setter for this team. He has slowly started to sneak in as one of the most consistent bats on this Railcat lineup.
And a big home run in the 7th inning for the first run of the game for the Railcats yesterday. Let's take a look at the defense for the Cougars behind Weston Muir. It'll be Nick D'Alessandro in left field. Matt Botcher is in center. Armand Upshaw out in right. Claudio Final at third base. Sam Dexter at short. Josh Allen at second. Alex McGarry at first, and Charles Mack catching. For the Cougars, wearing their baby blue uniforms tonight. Railcats coming out in their road green uniforms. And with yesterday's win over the Cougars, Railcats passed the Cougars in the standings. Gary South Shore now sitting in third in the East Division. A half game ahead of the Cougars at 18-16, with the Cougars coming into this one at 17-16. There's been some shakeups in those East Division standings, Colin. We've seen Milwaukee now passing Lake Country with that series win over the Knockhounds up in Economawalk. And now the Milkmen with a 2.5 game lead over Lake Country. The Cougars 5.5 out of first. Gary 5 out of first place.
Well, a lot can happen. We're not even halfway through the season, but we're getting pretty close. And it definitely seems like it's a 4-dog race between the Milkmen and the Knockhounds, the Railcats, and the Cougars. Kind of just shifting positions here as we get to the halfway point.
Still enough time for Cleburne and a team from Rosemont to work their way back in the standings. What we haven't seen yet, by the way, kind of a quirk in the schedule that the Cougars have not taken on the Dogs. As Corey Howell will lead it off for the Railcats. Picture perfect night for baseball after some rain yesterday. First pitch in for a strike. We are underway at 6:32 on this Thursday night. 76 degrees. Absolutely beautiful at Northwestern Medicine Field. Howell had that home run yesterday on the year, hitting at 277. 812 OPS. That was his 5th round tripper. It's a good amount of pop in the leadoff spot for the Railcats as that breaking ball's in there. Signature slow curve from Weston Muir. He's ahead in the count 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Muir sets down the first man he faces. Second time that Weston has faced the Railcats over the last 2 weeks. Picked up the win back on June 13th when he went 5 innings, allowed 2 earned runs on 3 hits.
And that was notably here at home, where he has pitched a lot better, at least when you look at the numbers. 1.69 on the ERA. Only 3 earned runs on the season.
It's often the case for pitchers for the Cougars. Northwestern Medicine Field, a place that they become accustomed to pitching. And typically a ballpark that is pitcher friendly. And that's A nice thing is that it really just attracts great talent on the mound because this is a place where you want to pitch. There's a swing and a miss. One-two to Weiss, and that's high and away with a fastball. Cooper Weiss hitting at .238 on the season. 2 home runs, 11 driven in. Railcats have been swinging the bats better recently. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Weston Muir to start the ball game. That is exactly the way you want to start.
Hey, you're not kidding. Going down the first 2 he faces, not even contact on the baseball. He has just got bats flailing left and right.
First pitch a little bit high to Mark Flores. Flores, a fairly recent addition to the Railcats. Had a couple of hits yesterday, 2 for 4. Also walked in that 9th inning and came around to score. He missed that game yesterday. We mentioned it at the top. Just a tough one to swallow for the Cougars. Game they felt like they had at a couple of different points. Flores takes down low. But that's one of those games where you go home and you have to say, that's baseball.
That's right.
There's going to be games like that, especially when you have one team in Gary that is playing well. They're gaining a lot of confidence. They've made some changes, which has injected some energy into their lineup. As Flores fouls it back. And then meanwhile, the Cougars, they're trying to find some answers. It was a red-hot start to the year, but this last couple of weeks, been tough sledding, just trying to get back on the right track. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Popped up. Mack removes the mask. Finds it. Squeezes it for out number 3. A 1-2-3 frame for Weston Muir. We'll go to the bottom of the first. See the Cougars bat for the first time. No score at Northwestern Medicine Field. First inning. Danny Olivero on the mound for the Gary South Shore Railcats. Olivero making his 2nd start of the year against the Cougars. He was tremendous, going 8 scoreless innings last time he pitched here at Northwestern Medicine Field. And as you mentioned, Colin, in our open, he has been very good recently after a tough start to the year. And we'll look at the defense behind Danny Olivero. Kevin Watson Jr. in left, Corey Howell in center, Colin Summerhill in right, Dick Podcoles at third, Elvis Peralta at short, Cooper Weiss at second, Chris Jacobs at first, Cooper Edwards behind home plate. Armand Upshaw back in the lineup for the Cougars to lead it off. Good to see for Armand. Got a night off last night. And he hits this one deep into center field. Howell going back. He's at the track. It is gone! One pitch and a leadoff homer for Armand Upshaw. Welcome back to the lineup.
Well, we mentioned it at the top. Armand Upshaw swinging one of the hottest bats on this Cougars team. Picked up a couple of hits in game number 1 and got exactly what he was looking for against Olivero, the deepest part of Northwestern Medicine Field. And Armand hits it out.
419 feet. How's that for your first home run of the year from Armand? That was a bomb. And it feels like the type of thing that this team needs. That kind of spark to start off a ball game. Josh Allen checks his swing. He did not go around on the appeal down to Mayhew Edwards. Our crew tonight, Alex Sandell behind home plate. Mayhew down at first. Jeff Osborne at third. 2-1 pitch, a little tapper. It's 2-2. Following Allen in the lineup, it's Matt Botcher hitting third. Todd Lott, DH in the cleanup spot. Alex McGarry, the first baseman, batting fifth. Claudio Final hitting sixth at third base. Charles Mack, the seventh spot, the catcher. Sam Dexter at shortstop hitting eighth, and Nick D'Alessandro, the left fielder, rounding out the order. That one missing low and away. Full count here to Josh. Payoff pitch, swing and a miss. High fastball from Olivero. Sets down Allen for out number one. So here's Matt Botcher. Cougars leader with 42 hits, leads the team with a .333 average. And he takes strike one on the inside corner. Swing and a miss there, 0-2. I have to say, Colin, we haven't seen one in a while. A leadoff home run to start a ball game. As Botcher bounces it to the right side, Jacobs will flip over to Olivero, route number two. I would say that ranks, on just an individual play, one of the top 5 most exciting things that can happen in a game.
Not just a leadoff homer,
yeah.
First pitch.
First pitch, too. First pitch.
And to just perspective-wise for the Cougars, just looking at my book here, it's been 7 games. I can't speak to the road, but 7 games at home since they've scored in the first inning. I mean, that is huge for momentum.
Here's Todd Lott. Fouls back to first pitch. And we've seen during this stretch the Cougars have been going through so many teams scoring early against the Cougars, finding themselves playing in a hole. It's good to build that early lead here in the first inning. Lott with a swing and a miss, 0-2. Pitch, little flare into center field. That's a base hit. Todd didn't get all of it, but just enough of it to flick it into center field for the 2-out single.
Yeah, I like it from Todd, going back up the middle. We've been seeing him hit a lot of hard ground balls and line drives. I mean, straight at the third baseman over the last 2 series. So even if it was just a little bloop, to just see it go more towards the center, I think is a positive sign.
Just a small lead for Lott off of first base. With Alex McGarry at the plate. Saw the numbers for him there as he takes inside. McGarry still hitting above 300 at .308. Alex had a scorching hot start to the year. Trying to break out of a little bit of a slump here, as is most of this Cougars lineup. That one inside. But as we've seen, it goes both ways. Hitting can be contagious, so can slumping. So let's hope that Armand Upshaw home run and the 11 hits yesterday, we start to see this lineup really roll.
That's right. And so far this season, it feels like the whole team kind of moves together. It's not just one guy that gets hot. It's 9 guys that get hot all at once. And then vice versa as well.
A little half swing from McGarry. Grounded over to Peralta. He bobbles it and he's got no play. A rare error from Elvis Peralta. The first and second with 2 outs as the inning continues.
I was going to say, you don't see that often from Elvis, but maybe just the way the ball rotated off of that as well, being that it was a soft roller, he just couldn't corral it in his chest. And McGarry with enough speed to get to first.
These are the 2 best defensive teams in the American Association. Cougars lead the league in fielding percentage. 986. Gary just behind them at 985. One to Final. This is down low.
Claudio, the only one that didn't get involved on the hits yesterday. Just the way he's been swinging, though, that's a tough bat to keep down.
1-1 pitch. That one a little bit high. That error from Peralta is his 5th of the season, which is the most on the Rail Cats. You always have to take that with a grain of salt for a shortstop, though, because of how many plays they have to handle. And at least from our perspective, we haven't seen Peralta botch a routine one like that. So this one's fouled back, 2-2.
Yeah, I think a better metrics is more a percentage-wise. You know, I mean, if he has 5 errors, but he's fielded 500 ground balls, that's not too bad.
You're going to have a lot more attempts when you're over at short, typically. 2-2 to Final. Claudio with a high drive into right center field. Howell going back towards the gap, and this one's off the wall. Lott comes in. McGarry right behind him, and it's 3-0 Cougars as Claudio Final has double number 15.
Just adding to that league best, 15 doubles now for Claudio. He smoked this ball to right center field, just missing himself a home run here in the first, but just as good clearing the bases and putting the Cougars up 3.
That one traveled 389 feet. So what a first inning for the Cougars, putting up a 3 spot. Here's Charles Mack, the 7th man to the plate in the frame. First pitch, little bouncer to the right side, and it will go foul.
What a start for Kane County. This is already the most earned runs that Olivero has given up since May 20th. His 2nd start of the season.
Well, he's only given up 1 earned run.
That's true. Runs in general, though.
Runs. So runs in general, that is. As now Mack with a drive to center field. Howell going back at the wall. Goodbye! The 2nd home run of the inning, and it is 5-0 Cougars. A Mack attack for home run number 6. What a start in Kane County.
And all of these drives going right back up the middle into center field. A Mack attack on wrestling night. That feels like some sort of a finisher.
I like that. Yeah, that's some sort of move there. That one was clobbered. 424 feet. Here's Sam Dexter, and he's hit by a pitch. And clearly a little bit of frustration from Olivero, and George Samus coming out, immediately going up to Alex Endell. And I got to tell you, Colin, that looked pretty intentional, because you give up 2 home runs, and then you throw one right into the back for the next pitch. I think George Samus has every right to go out and talk to Alex Endell, because this should at the very least draw a warning here.
It looks like everybody going back. I mean, I don't know if Endell said anything there to Olivero, but George Samus certainly getting his money's worth. And I think if you're Sam Dexter and the entire team, you like to see that. A little bit of fire from your manager to try to protect you in that situation.
Absolutely. And that's why George Samus, best manager, history of partner league, independent baseball, whatever you want to call it, 6 championships. But he knows the right buttons to press. And he's always going to stand up for his players. And I have to agree with him wholeheartedly here. Right after he gives up a second home run, directly into the back of Sam Dexter, hadn't had any issues with his control. I get it if you're frustrated, but the Cougars didn't do anything other than light you up. You can't just hit a guy because you're frustrated.
Yeah, we see Kent Willis going out there now, maybe just trying to calm down.
I hope it wasn't intentional. But, I mean, all signs point to it being. George is still fired up in the dugout, and I think he has every right to be. I mean, there's just no place for that in the game. And I didn't think. The other thing you wonder is, did the Cougars maybe show him up on either of the home runs? I don't think so. It looked to me like both were professional home run trots. They just, clearly Olivero's frustrated with this start, but you can't take it out on the opposing team throwing at him. As now D'Alessandro rolls it to short. Peralta will throw to second. That'll end the inning. But the Cougars put up a 5 spot at the bottom of the first, 2 home runs. They lead 5-0 as we go to the second in Kane County. Back at Northwestern Medicine Field, the Cougars have jumped out to a 5-0 lead. A couple of home runs, also a 2-run double from Claudio Final in that bottom of the first inning. Great crowd on hand tonight, and the Pride Stores is the official sponsor of the Kane County Cougars parking lot. Check out your parking lot ticket for $2 off any $5 purchase at all 17 Chicagoland Pride Store locations. So a nice, comfortable lead for Weston Muir to work with. Did spend a good amount of time in the dugout there. One downside of a big inning like that, but the Cougars, boy, did they need that, Colin.
I think so, and I think you'll take a long inning when it turns into 5 runs. I mean,
no
Weston will be just fine.
He'll be good. Here is Colin Summerhill. As Colin Rudisil called him, the heel tonight for the Cary South Shore Railcats.
I hate to put a fellow Colin down, but...
Breaking ball just misses there for Muir. Who's considered the greatest all-time heel in wrestling?
Ooh, probably Ric Flair, if I had to guess, the Nature Boy.
Oh, we hear from him every night. There's a line drive, but it's at Sam Dexter.
There he is.
Making the catch. Yeah, we heard it right there. Right on cue. Not sure how well everybody out there watching can hear on the crowd mics, but here at Northwestern Medicine Field, after a nice defensive play, the Ric Flair sound effect goes off, the signature woo. I can't do it, so I'm not going to really try to do it, but
I don't want to hurt anybody's ears.
Yeah, we don't want to go to that pitch of Ric Flair. We'll leave it to the professional there. 0-1 the count to Elvis Peralta. As that one misses low and in. Cougars have the shift on here. Seeing a lot of wrestling shirts in the crowd. There was a huge line to meet Matt Hardy before the game. Taking some pictures with fans.
Yeah, cool. He's sticking around out in the kids zone, getting a little bit of extra attention from fans that maybe couldn't make it earlier before the game.
Going to be singing the 7th inning stretch as well. As that one's down low to Peralta.
Well, that'll be. I've never heard Matt Hardy sing, but that'll be fun.
Test out the pipes a little bit. (3-1) Peralta right into the shift. Allen is there. Over to first. 2 down. So that is now 10 runs for the Cougars in the last 2 games. Coming into yesterday, the Cougars had scored 10 runs over their prior 7 games.
Tells you everything you need to know about where that team was at and where they are now.
Things have really started to turn breaking balls in for a strike. Now, he would not want all of the credit, but we are 2 games into Ryan Tutland as the hitting coach here for the Cougars, and so far so good for Ryan. There's a swing and a miss. Nasty breaking ball there from Muir.
Yeah, Weston's looking good.
Opportunity for strikeout number 3. Jacobs calls for time. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. 6 up, 6 down for Weston Muir. A nasty curve to end the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the second. The Cougars ahead, 5-0. Back at Northwestern Medicine Field, a 5-0 lead for the Cougars. Young fans checking out the game. Make sure you visit the Kuipers Family Farm Team store behind section 107. It's loaded with great merchandise, including sweatshirts, t-shirts, caps, stuffing, and more. Kuipers Family Farm, located in Maple Park, is home to your favorite fall activities, including sunflowers, apple picking, and fun. Back to the top of the order. Armand Upshaw lead it off. He led off this game with a boom. First pitch, 419 feet over the wall to dead center. Trying to check his swing there, but went around on a pitch up high from Olivero. That one low and away. Well, if yesterday is any indication, Cougars will be hungry for some more runs. One thing, it's very early in this ball game. Yesterday's game, a good indication you can never have enough insurance. There's a wave and a miss from Upshaw.
That's true. I mean, we saw what happened yesterday. Felt like the Cougars were going to kind of just cruise through the back half of that game, the back third of that game, and Gary came roaring back.
And this isn't to say that the Cougars coasted a little bit when they got that 4-0 lead, but I'm sure the mentality is tonight, keep the foot on the gas pedal. We got to try, let's try to score 10 runs tonight, maybe 15. 2-2 is low and away.
Well, it'd be a bit of a statement, too. I mean, it already is with what they've done to Olivero. Just 1 earned run, but 5 runs given up in the first against a pitcher that's really been dominating over his last few starts.
3-2. Little tapper as Upshaw stays alive. Great to see for Armand, who, and he was out of the lineup last night. 3-2. High chopper towards third. Grabbed by Podkol across the diamond for out number 1.
Now batting second baseman, number 7, Josh Allen.
I don't know why, Colin, but I feel like if Josh Allen were not a professional baseball player, he could hold his own in the WWE. This one popped up. Right side of the infield, Cooper Weiss makes the catch. 2 outs.
He's certainly got the kind of charisma that you need to do that.
He's got the personality for it.
Absolutely. That's half the battle.
Here's Matt Botcher. Grounded out to first his first time up. Takes that one for a strike at the knees. Up foul out of play. One going out to the roof, one of the suites. A lot of groups in the suites tonight. They are packed all above us. Nice crowd. Botcher takes low and in. I think some folks still filling in. We've had No, there's been a lot of traffic, some construction around St. Charles, Geneva. Of course, you have the construction around Aurora on Farnsworth Avenue with the brand new casino opening down the road. That one misses upstairs. So the traffic, that can play a role. Maybe folks not able to get in here. They missed a lot if you were late for this one.
Well, only knows how many of these fans were here last year for the wrestling day with Kurt Angle that unfortunately Mother Nature had other plans. I mean, some of these people might have been waiting, almost a year.
3-2, called strike 3 on the outside corner. So Olivero responds with a 1-2-3 inning. But it's a 5-0 Cougars lead. We'll go to the third inning. Colin Rudisil will take over the play-by-play when we come back. Welcome back to Northwestern Medicine Field. Great crowd on hand for this Thirsty Thursday and wrestling night. So far, good start for the Cougars, leading 5-0. And on the play-by-play, turn it over to Colin Rudisil.
Thank you, Connor. You see Ozzie and Annie, the Cougars, departing into the Cougars dugout. 5-0 lead for Kane County over Gary. It's the third inning is just about to get underway. 6 up, 6 down for Weston Muir. Against this Railcat lineup, he'll get 7, 8, 9, starting with Nick Podkol. Absent from the lineup yesterday, but he is the leader in home runs on this team with 6 of them. It's always a dangerous at-bat. But so far, we have been seeing Muir bringing some of his best stuff through these first 2 innings. Off-speed pitch, waits on it, but goes right into the glove of Sam Dexter for out number 1.
I think something, did you see a little white thing come on the ground? I think Nick Podkol thought that one dropped, but it was an optical illusion.
I saw him hustling down the line. I thought maybe he was just trying to do a selling job like Dexter didn't catch it, but one way or another. Kevin Watson Jr. settles in. The lefty grounds it over to the right side. McGarry fields it cleanly, sprints over to first for out number 2. Quick work for Weston Muir here in the third so far.
Well, he has looked tremendous so far tonight, and what I'm seeing, Colin, is he's getting a lot of movement on those breaking balls, with the curveball and the slider. He's mixing his pitches well. He's finding the zone, really keeping this lineup off balance for the Railcats.
Last man up first time through is Cooper Edwards, as he watches a high pitch for ball 1. See the numbers there for Cooper Edwards, $169 on the batting average. As Muir evens up the count, good snap there at 89 miles an hour. Another off-speed pitch goes out of play. And Muir potentially with a chance to pick up strikeout number 4 in 3 innings.
He's been very efficient as well. 31 pitches thus far.
That's very efficient. 1-2. Popped up and out of play. Saw a long at-bat last night from Cooper Edwards, I should say yesterday. Finally ended in a double play, luckily. That was just before all the fireworks started for Gary. One-two. Edwards holds up the swing according to Mayhew Edwards. Count runs 2-2. Muir misses on that off speed, low and away. Now the count runs full. Edwards proven to be a little bit of a difficult out. going from yesterday's game to today. See what Muir's got for him on the full count. This one charged down the left field line. D'Alessandro looks up, and that one is going to be a souvenir. Second home run of the season for Cooper Edwards. The first mistake we've seen from Weston Muir, and it's 5-1.
Yeah, that was just a fastball that had a lot of the plate. Edwards able to turn on it. He was sitting on a fastball on a full count. Just up in the zone and towards the middle of the plate. And Edwards got every bit of it.
Still 2 outs as the lineup turns back over to Corey Howell. Muir goes back to the off speed and puts it right on the edge. 75 miles an hour. Almost 20 inches of vertical break. He's definitely finding the snap on that thing. Slow roller over to short. Dexter fields it on the backhand across to McGarry for out number 3. Railcats get on the board. A solo shot by Cooper Edwards. Cougars still up 5-1, looking to get that run back in the bottom of the third. A look into the Cougar dugout as we get set for the bottom of the third inning. And if you keep following down that first base side into the right field corner, you'll find the lining through the Liney Lodge, which is located in the right field deck. The Liney Lodge can accommodate up to 600 guests and provide a casual social party space for you and your group. Visit kccougars.com to learn more. Liney Lodge in action today, as are all of the benches in the outfield. Danny Olivero back in for a third inning of work. Settled in that second. 3 up, 3 down on the top of the order. He'll face the heart of the Cougars lineup here, starting with Todd Lott. And he finds the outside corner for strike 1. Good to see Lott already pick up an early single in this game. He was 5 for his last 33 going into this one.
Well, we know the kind of bat that Todd Lott has, and once he gets going again, that's when I think you're really going to see this offense click.
And back up the middle again for Lott and a base hit. Right on cue. Back-to-back singles up the middle for Todd Lott.
Next up for the Cougars, first baseman, number 21.
So give Alex McGarry a turn.
Alex McGarry.
McGarry, another bat that's looking to start to find some of that early success he had. You mentioned it. It shows how good that bat was earlier in the season. He was well over 300, almost pushing 400 on the batting average, and still at 308. Picked up an infield single yesterday, broke his longest streak without a hit. So now maybe a new streak about to start for McGarry. Very small lead by Todd Lott over at first. So Olivero comes set and fires. It's McGarry swinging at a breaking ball into the ground. A lot of movement on some of Olivero's pitches. That one at 87 miles an hour.
He's got good stuff. I mean, it makes it all the more impressive what the Cougars did in the first inning.
0-2. McGarry pops one into center field. Howell drifts over, and he'll make the catch for out number 1.
That ball's carrying tonight. Wind's blowing out towards right center. Not in a huge way, but I think also Just seeing all the hitters on this Cougars team after batting practice here, this is good weather to hit.
Certainly feels like it.
It's a little bit warmer. We didn't have to deal with the rain today. Just about perfect conditions for a baseball game.
Beautiful skies over Northwestern Medicine Field today. No rain in the forecast. As Final drops to a knee, tried to get that one into the forest behind Northwestern.
I think he was
Medicine
trying
Field.
to send it to St. Charles there.
The 0-1. Claudio pops it up shallow on the left side. Peralta calls off Potko and he makes the catch. That one certainly had the height.
How often do you think you have a left side of the infield where the shortstop and the third baseman both have a last name that start with the letter P? It just doesn't seem very common. These are some of the strange things I noticed during a baseball game.
I'm not sure I have an answer for you.
I don't think it's very common. I'm trying to think of a major league or historical example.
I'm just trying to think of one left side infielder with a last name that starts with P. To at least get the ball rolling. Mack watches a low pitch, evens the count at 1-1.
Yeah, every player I'm thinking of with a P is not a shortstop or a third baseman. I'm thinking of Brett Phillips, Albert Pujols.
Yep. I thought Piazza and Brzezinski.
Okay, there you go. A couple of catchers.
1-1 misses low and outside.
How about Scott Podsednik, a former Cougar? He's an outfielder. There's another one that is not.
We're filling a team.
We are, yeah. We got the P team going now, but
lacking the left side of the infield. Pee Wee Reese, but I think he was
well, that's his first name.
Yeah,
it's got to be last name.
Look, I'm taking anything we can get at this point. 2-1. Mack turns on this one and crushes it foul. That one would have went a long way if he straightened it up.
Went 374 feet, but unfortunately for Charles was foul. He was looking for home run number 2. That was 109 off of the bat.
Well, that got out of here in a hurry. See if Mack can straighten it up. And Olivero misses high, so a full count now to Charles Mack. Todd Lott will be on the run over at first base. Dustin Pedroia, but that's second base. Two battles going on in my mind right now as there goes Lott.
I set you down the rabbit hole here if we're trying to find the best baseball players with P last name. It just doesn't seem very common that you have. I mean, you do think of Phillips as and Peralta is a last name you see a lot. Well, hey, I got one. Johnny Peralta.
Johnny Peralta.
There we go. Johnny Peralta is going to be our shortstop.
We're on the board.
Okay, we got one. Now we need a third baseman. But, well, I don't know if he played with another guy with a P.
3-2 misses high. And that's going to give Charles Mack first base. Cougars scored 4 of their 5 runs in that first inning with 2 outs. Now with a runner in scoring position, Sam Dexter with an opportunity.
How about Nick Punto? What position did he play?
Oh.
He was a utility guy.
Surely some third base.
I bet he did play a little third base. Nick Punto to the White Sox is the same as Colin Summerhill to the Cougars.
That's true. A heel. It's popped up to the right side. Having to sprint in, though, is Summerhill. This one is in trouble, but Summerhill is able to drum in and make the catch. Right on cue for Colin Summerhill. 5-1 the score remains at the end of 3. We're heading to the 4th here at Northwestern Medicine Field. We're proud to partner with Champro for this year's Baseball Champions League as the preferred supplier of the AAPB. Since 1986, Champro has developed high-performing sporting goods and a mission to inspire people to be team players for life. Visit champrosports.com or follow at Champro Sports on Instagram to learn more. There is Cooper Weiss settling in for his second at-bat against Weston Muir. Weiss didn't see Muir the first time around when the Railcats were at Northwestern Medicine Field. 0 for 1 tonight with a strikeout. One. Weiss fouls it off over our heads. And another 1-2 count here for Weston Muir. He has been doing a really nice job of getting himself into pitcher-friendly counts.
Yeah, he has brought his best stuff tonight. No question about it. Just the one mistake.
1-2 gets pushed down the right field line, hanging up, and foul. That was close.
Yeah, it was. Ended up traveling, looking for the distance on it. I know it went over the fence, so it went at least 335 feet. But thankfully, it was a couple of feet foul.
Trying to will that wind with my mind to just push it on the other side of that foul pole. 1-2 skips in and evens the count. You're chasing strikeout number 4. And this is high. Count runs full. The 3-2. Grounded to the left side. Dexter able to field it cleanly, throws across in time. Back-to-back groundouts to short for the Railcats. Out number 1 here in the top of the 4th.
Designated hitter, number 52, Mark Flores.
The big lefty Mark Flores up next. 6'5", 225 pounds. Good looking pitch there by Muir for strike 1. Flores with just 18 plate appearances, or I should say at-bats for these Railcats. 7 hits so far, 412 on the average coming into today. And he floats this one down the left field line. D'Alessandro making the run over. He slides and makes the catch. Nick D'Alessandro put it on a highlight in the left field corner.
Not just a catcher, right?
The yes chance over Northwestern Medicine
Love it.
Field.
And plenty of the fans know what to do when that happens. Yeah, great play by Nick. He gets a good jump on this ball and then slides where he has to. Has just enough room to make the play. Really well done. Who started the yes chant?
That is a Daniel Bryan special. A little bit more recent. Or I guess now he's Bryan Danielson.
He changed his name?
He's in AEW. This is wrestling night. It's all encompassing.
Right. Well, I know there's a partnership between the American Association and AEW. We saw that last year.
Yeah, Jeff Jarrett making the rounds.
Yeah.
Including Gary.
Well, and I remember his video after the Cougars won the championship. He congratulated the Cougars, told them about the belt that they were going to receive for winning the Miles Wolf Cup.
That's right. Players were amped about that belt. I
think they were more excited about the belt than the cup. No offense to the cup.
I remember Chris Mazza putting that thing on, and he did not want to let it go.
Well, I'm sure a lot of the players will be reflecting on that championship when they go to Sioux Falls tomorrow. Just a couple of legendary games at the Birdcage.
2-2 to Summerhill, spoiled. Second time in this game that Weston Muir has faced Colin Summerhill with nobody aboard. That is the right time to face him. Two-two. Half swing, did he go? Mayhew Edwards says no. Once again, a full count here in the top of the fourth inning. Called strike three. Weston Muir with his best John Cena. You can't see me on the outside edge. Strikeout number 4. Cougars looking to add to the lead in the bottom of the inning. Welcome back to Northwestern Medicine Field. A 5-1 game as the Cougars ahead in the bottom of the fourth inning. And there you get a look. July 11th. Make sure you are here for our Christmas in July special. Cougars will be giving away a Bumble bobblehead at the gate, sponsored by the Pride Stores. If you're like me and you didn't know, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the abominable snowman, his name is Bumble. There he is. Giveaway bobblehead. Post-game fireworks to go along with it. 6:30, July 11th. That's the place to be here at Northwestern Medicine Field. Did you have any idea his name was Bumble?
No, I wouldn't have guessed that for the abominable snowman.
I thought he was just the abominable snowman.
That's the one from which movie is it?
I believe Rudolph.
Okay,
the
Rudolph.
Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Okay. I was always a big fan of Yukon Cornelius.
You want to make a Mount Rushmore of Christmas figures. Maybe we should start studying for Christmas in July, but got to throw Mr. Cornelius on there. Nick D'Alessandro 0 for 1 today. Made an outstanding sliding catch at the top of this inning.
You know, we've got Christmas in July, but today is technically halfway to Christmas, believe it or not. June 25th.
You're right. Huh.
I heard someone say that today, and I got a little bit sad just thinking about winter. So, love Christmas, not a big winter guy.
0-2 to Delhi. Misses outside. Are you like me where the first snowfall of the year is pretty exciting? Meaning
yes.
Of the season, I should say. Christmas snowfall is exciting. And then other than that, we don't need any snow.
Yes, my stance is snow is fine up until New Year's, because I like a little New Year's Eve snow too.
Okay.
After January 1st, I would be fine if there's no snow.
I like that.
But that's when you get the most, is after January 1st.
1-2. Delhi charges this one into center field. Howell moving back just in front of the warning track and makes the catch.
Well, even on an out, Colin, Cougars just scorching the ball tonight. That one was 103 off the bat, 373 feet. It's good to see. It's almost, I'm seeing more of just confidence in the box from everybody in this Cougars lineup tonight. They go up there with a plan, and they're hitting the ball hard.
Execution so far so good here through 3 1/3. Upshaw for the third time. First pitch home run for Armand Upshaw in the bottom of the first inning. Over that 410-foot sign in center field. So he gets ahead 2-0. Upshaw has always been a guy with some sneaky power. A lot of guys think of him as a gap hitter maybe, but a lot of speed on the base paths, but he'll surprise you with the bat. This one is soft grounded foul.
I do feel like when he hits home runs, they're always just bombs. He doesn't hit the wall scrapers.
No. Well, I had flashbacks, Connor. The first home run call I've ever had.
Yeah.
Armand Upshaw right over the batter's eye.
I remember that. And he was batting from the left side there.
That's right. Power on both sides as count evens up 2-2. Saw Upshaw move over to that right side. Feels like he gets just a little bit more consistency. So 2-2 gets fouled off. And I think since he's made that switch, we haven't seen him bat on the left side.
No. He still occasionally batting practice will take a couple of swings, lefty.
So 2-2 gets away. This is a third strike that's going to go to the wall. So Upshaw swings and misses. The ball skips away from Edwards. The Cougars will take a base runner any way they'll get it.
Yeah, take the break.
We saw a drop third strike one of these games. I can't find it in my book now, but second time we've seen that.
Yeah, I do remember the last time it went against the Cougars.
Right.
I'm trying to, I'll have to go back and.
It's Josh Allen in with a 1-0 count. Always got to look at Armand Upshaw at first base. Allen grounds this one foul. It's just not very often you see that.
No.
And then to see it twice, I believe in the same homestand. I'm trying to remember if it was Gary or Sioux City that we saw it. Either way. 1 out and 1 on in a 1-1 count. Allen fouls this one off. It's 1-2.
I'm having trouble finding it, but it did happen.
It did happen.
Know that if you're with us for every game, you also saw this drop third strike that went against the Cougars.
Allen 0 for 2 today, looking to change that luck. Quick check, though, on Upshaw over first. He slips, loses his footing, but stays on the bag. Be careful. Upshaw gets a little bit extra on his lead. 1-2. Allen watches it drop low for ball 2. Josh still hanging around the top of the American Association on OBPs, currently at 437. 34 hits for him, and there goes Upshaw. Pitch is outside, the throw down, not in time. Upshaw deals easy on Cooper Edwards. Number 12 on the season for Armand.
We got a really good jump there, and we've said it. He is on a really good pace right now to top his record from last year.
And he reached on a drop third strike. Now standing at second base. It's a big pitch coming up for Olivero. He looks back at Upshaw, now comes home. Swing and a miss. He gets Allen. Second time Josh has gone down by way of the K, and technically back-to-back strikeouts now for Olivero.
Oh, now I'm remembering that inning with the drop third strike against the Cougars. Whoever was pitching for the Cougars had 4 strikeouts in that inning.
That's right.
And I think it was Reese Sharp, so
we're narrowing it down, folks.
I found it.
Botcher swings at the first pitch.
Wait.
Oh, boy.
Hold on.
Botcher 0 for 2 as well. Team leader in hits, 42 going in today. Two hits last night, I should say yesterday, an RBI single included in that, the big 5th inning the Cougars put together. The 1-1. Skips in, good stop by Edwards. It was a tough start for Olivero to this game, but he is starting to settle in. Only 1 hit allowed since that first inning.
All the games start to run together sometimes.
It did happen.
It happened. If anybody is, I know our audio stream isn't working at the moment, but you can join the Mixler chat. If anybody knows which game, which pitcher that happened to, please let us know.
I'm about to be flipping through my book in the top of this 5th. We're going to find it.
It's a lot of flipping.
3-1. Swing and a miss by Botcher. Count runs full. That was the 76th pitch that Denny Olivero has thrown, and it's only the 4th inning. Make it the 77th. Full count to Matt Botcher. Misses on the outside. Second walk of the game by Denny Olivero. Cougars now with a couple of runners aboard with Todd Lott stepping in.
Designated hitter, number 9, Todd Lott.
Todd Lott 2 for 2 today. A couple of singles back up the middle. And right as he settles in, we'll see Kent Willis, the pitching coach for the Railcats, take the walk. Go talk to Olivero. There's nobody warming up yet in the Gary Bolton net. But maybe Kent Willis, knowing that Olivero has allowed 2 hits to the top block, is trying to strategize here on what to do with a couple of runners aboard. A drop 3rd strike against Armand Upshaw, who then stole second base, and then that walk to Matt Botcher. So no hits for the Cougars in the top of this 4th inning. But 2 base runners nonetheless. The Railcats scored the latest, top of the 3rd, to make it 5-1. A lot of baseball game left. You'd like to drive in one of these runs and just keep that momentum back on the Cougars side.
Yeah, like we said earlier, you got to keep that foot on the gas pedal, trying to stretch this lead. And just continue to build confidence for this Cougars team offensively.
Cooper Weiss is holding Upshaw on second, but kind of pinching in as well as Lott fouls that one off. He's gone straight up the middle 2 times, Todd Lott. The 0-1. Lott goes into left field. It's down for a hit. David Holmberg waves around. Armand Upshaw, the play at the plate, not in time. And a pickle now for Botcher, and a little hug between Botcher and Elvis Peralta. And that is certainly something for out number 3. An RBI single, though, for Todd Lott brings home Armand Upshaw. A 6-1 lead for the Cougars as we go to the 5th inning. Welcome back to Northwestern Medicine Field, a great place to take in a sunset and a ball game. The Berm out in right field. A 6-1 game now in the top of the 5th. And back on the play-by-play is Connor Klingon.
Thank you very much, Colin. Nice 5-run lead for the Cougars. And Yellowstone Landscape is proud to be the commercial landscaping partner of the Kane County Cougars, providing full-service commercial landscaping services, including mowing and detailing, landscape design and enhancements, tree care, and snow and ice services. Visit YellowstoneLandscape.com to learn more. Elvis Peralta will lead off the inning for the Railcats. 5, 6, and 7 due up for Gary South Shore. Cougars have the shift on here. Peralta goes away from the shift into left field. D'Alessandro cuts it off. Peralta aboard with a leadoff single to start the top of the 5th inning. As you mentioned, Colin, one of the more unique outs you'll see with Elvis Peralta giving the hug tag to Matt Botcher.
Well, getting to know Elvis just a little bit down in Mexico City, he is certainly more of a lover than a fighter.
Got a big lead over at first base as the first pitch to Chris Jacobs misses down low. I have seen that before somewhere. I'm trying to think of the game or the instance where that happened. I haven't seen it in this league or with the Cougars, but that was fun.
It was almost like they rehearsed it.
Well, that would make sense on wrestling night. I don't think they did.
No, surely they didn't. It would have been funny if one of them put on like a wrestling move on the other one.
Do they allow hugs in the WWE? I don't know, as that one is swatted by Jacobs deep to left field. It's over the head of D'Alessandro, and it'll go over the wall. It's a ground rule double. So Peralta will have to stay put at third. And now second and third with nobody out for the Railcats. A small break for the Cougars, though, as Peralta would have scored easily if that stays in the ballpark.
Yeah, another off-speed pitch that just kind of got left up in the zone by Weston. And you said it, that would have been a walk home for Elvis Peralta. So now Muir at least with a chance to try to work around the damage.
Here's Nick Podkul. Notre Dame alum. Just saw a fellow former Notre Dame baseball player called up to the big leagues today, Jack Brannigan. As this one is flying to center field. Botcher's over, makes the catch. Peralta tags from third, and he'll come in to score. It's 6-2 as Podkul picks up an RBI.
Number 18 on the year for Podkul. Just did what he had to do, puts a barrel on the bat, or I should say barrel on the ball. Easy distance for Peralta to trot home.
Here's Kevin Watson Jr. Rounded out his first time up. Swings the first pitch, fouls it away. So with Jack Brannigan making his debut for the Pittsburgh Pirates, as mentioned, got a trivia question for you, Colin.
Oh, boy. I'm ready.
Who is the best former Major League Baseball player that ever played at Notre Dame, but did not necessarily graduate, which is a little bit of a hint?
That is a little bit of a hint. He didn't graduate.
And you got to think pretty old school with this one.
Oh, boy. I'm not going to muster up this answer.
I'll give you another hint.
All right.
He has a grandson that also played in the major leagues. I believe actually might still be playing. And I'll give you a hint that his grandson primarily has played for the San Francisco Giants. This one is grounded sharply, backhanded there by Allen over to first, and Watson retired for out number 2.
Nice backhanded play there by Josh Allen. Just makes that second base position look so easy.
Catcher number 7, Cooper Edwards.
Has he spent all his time with the Giants?
No. And in fact, he's no longer on the Giants.
Okay.
Currently on the Braves, which might be a big hint. So here's Cooper Edwards. And, okay, now I'll give you the biggest hint of all. The actual player I'm looking for played for the Boston Red Sox. One of the most famous Red Sox players.
Wow.
One-0 pitch. Edwards takes a strike.
I think I'm just going to need it.
Okay. Carl Yastrzemski.
Yastrzemski.
That is your answer. His grandson, Mike Yastrzemski. Mike went to Vanderbilt for college. Played with the Giants, Royals, and Braves. But Carl Yastrzemski, of course, very famous with the Boston Red Sox. As that one is grounded off the mound. Allen in shallow center over to first. And a nice pick by McGarry for out number 3. Great defense all around there for the Cougars. The Railcats get one back, though. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th with the Cougars leading 6-2. Bottom of the 5th inning, a 6-2 lead for the Cougars on this Thirsty Thursday, presented by Miller Lite and a wrestling night at Northwestern Medicine Field. And the Wanamaker's Food Truck Patio, located on the first base concourse, includes no manches, Molly's Plus, Chick-fil-A Batavia, except on Sundays. Danny Olivero still out there, on for a 5th inning of work. Credit to him for weathering the storm a little bit. The 1 run he gave up in the bottom of the 4th inning, the first run that he had allowed since the 5-run first inning. And again, only 2 earned runs allowed. Would have been out of that first if not for an error by Elvis Peralta. Here's Alex McGarry, 0 for 2 so far tonight. Takes first pitch upstairs. I know we have Alex's mom often tunes in on the broadcast, and she mentioned tonight that she loved the Wrestling Night poster that our social team posted on X, designed by our very own Cam Stevens. Make sure to take a look on X. I think it's also on Instagram.
Facebook as well.
Facebook, it's out there. As McGarry fouls that one just above our booth. Watch out on the bounce back. But she requested a copy of it because I want to hang it up in the clubhouse back home. Thought it was really well done.
Yeah, very kind of the old school wrestling vibe with the red and yellow. Very cool design.
And the Cougars' entire social team does an awesome job as this one is popped up. Chris Jacobs in foul territory will give way to Edwards, who makes the catch for the first down. I'm even seeing the score update graphics tonight are with that wrestling theme as well. That is a really awesome, it does look like an old school wrestling promo that you'd see if you went down to the convention center where they're having the event, or the arena. Actually never been to a live wrestling event. At least professional. I've been to high school wrestling meets or college, but that's much different. I mean, those are two entirely different definitions of the word wrestling. And all with a big cut and a miss.
One is sport, the other is sports entertainment.
Yes.
But they're a lot of fun. I mean, they're in Chicago all the time.
It's got to be great energy and atmosphere. That one nearly clipped Claudio there.
I've gone to several.
Well, I know actually our ownership group at Rev Entertainment, they have hosted some AEW events down at Globe Life Field with huge success. That one misses outside, 3-2. Maybe they could bring one to Northwestern Medicine Field. Who knows? I'm not actually hinting to something, but that would be pretty cool if they...
That would be.
You know,
I know we get the Lucha Libre wrestling during Tacos and Tequila.
3-2. Popped up. Foul territory right side. Into the seats. Well, unfortunately, I've had to miss Tacos and Tequila the last 2 years.
Well,
for very good reasons. Last year for the Miles Wolf Cup final. 2024 potentially could have made it because the Cougars swept the Gold Eyes, but I had a wedding that day, so wasn't able to go to Tacos and Tequila. As Final with a high fly ball deep into right field as Summerhill will camp under it, makes the catch.
You haven't made it either. Always looks like a very cool event, though, especially all the social posts I see from it.
They do a great job every year. September, just after the season comes to an end, as Charles Mack will take outside, or it's on the last possible day of the season. Game 5 of the Miles Wolf Cup final, but I know last year on that night that the Cougars won, they got a shout out. I'm trying to remember which performer it was. I believe Ludacris or T.I. mentioned that the Cougars won the Miles Wolf Cup.
Good person to break the news.
1-1 pitch, fouled away. Charles with that 2-run homer back in the first inning, part of that 5-run frame. Leadoff home run by Armand Upshaw on the first pitch of the ball game. 1-2 pitch, foul tipped into the glove for strike 3. So a 1-2-3 inning for Olivero. We'll head to the top of the 6th. Cougars still leading 6-2 in Geneva. Welcome back to Northwestern Medicine Field. Lively crowd at the ballpark. Beautiful Thursday night. So far, they've been treated to a 6-2 Cougars lead over the Gary South Shore Railcats. And Christ Community Church has something for wherever you are. Kids, students, singles, couples, the hurting, or those seeking answers. Watching online or visit one of our 5 Chicagoland campuses. Learn more at ccclife.org. Top of the order due up for the Railcats. Weston Muir on for a 6th inning of work. Really good stuff tonight from Weston, allowing just 2 runs on 3 hits. And this is the deepest Weston has gone since May 31st when he pitched 6 shutout innings against Lincoln. First pitch to Corey Howell. It's a breaking ball strike. Howell 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a groundout.
Cougars starting to get Graham Fireved loosened up. Good outing last time we saw him, but you said Amir has just been cruising.
Graham has done a really nice job in his role this season. Been that bridge guy. Really been that pitcher that bridges the gap from the starter into the typical setup men, which you have Logan Nissen, Art Warren, and then the left-hander Zach Veen and Jordan Martinson as that one's tapped foul. Which is such an important job. Obviously the closer, those are the 3 toughest outs to get at the end of the game, but think about the rest of the game. Every inning has the same impact. Here's the 2-2. You know, you feel more of that pressure and intensity when you're in the 7th and 8th inning as opposed to the 5th, 6th, 7th, or 5th or 6th, but Fireved's done an excellent job. Two-two pitch. Howell shoots it the other way into right field. That's a base hit. So a leadoff single. The Railcats center fielder. Now the pitching coach, David Holmberg, will come out. Sporting the lemon lime shoes here tonight.
I remember joking with Holmberg a couple of days ago. He was wearing white shoes. I said, I couldn't see out there. He said, yeah, no, blending right in.
Well, we've seen that color, sometimes the bright orange, mixes it up from time to time. There is Graham Firevet warming up in the bullpen.
Yeah, just to touch on what you were saying, it's such an important position, those middle relievers, to keep games where they're at. And it's kind of a thankless position, at least from fans, because nobody really remembers the guys that keep the game steady, keep the score right where it is in the middle of a game. But they will remember if you give up 2, 3, 4 runs.
They're the offensive linemen of baseball.
Exactly.
The most underappreciated job in the sport, but it's just as important as any other, being a middle reliever. Here is Cooper Weiss. He's 0 for 2. It's the first pitch down low. Howell with a big lead over at first base. He's very dangerous. 14 of 17 in stolen base attempts. Pitch in for a strike. But going back to what I was saying earlier, if you talk to folks that are really heavy on the analytics, the ones who don't think that there's a clutch factor or anything like that, they tell you that all 27 outs are created equals. This one is pushed towards first base. McGarry has it. He'll apply the tag. It's a sac bunt there for Weiss, getting Howell up to second base. I don't fully agree with that. As I mentioned, the ninth inning, those last 3 outs, those are always the hardest to get because the approach of the hitters is going to change trying to keep the game alive. But it looks like this will be it for Weston Muir as George Samus is coming out. But a really nice performance from Weston tonight. Going 5 1/3, allowed 2 runs. He is responsible for the runner at second. Graham Firevid will come on. We'll take a break. We'll get you the numbers on Graham when we come back in just a moment. Graham Firevid into the game for the Cougars. 13 innings of work, a 3.46 ERA, 14 strikeouts, and 8 walks on the year. Firevid pitched in the first game of this series. He's had 3 straight scoreless outings. Face Mark Flores, who is 0 for 2 so far tonight. Pops up the first pitch.
Well, if it all goes according to plan, we'll see how George Samus uses the bullpen, but I imagine we might see Firevet for a couple innings and then maybe the blonde bullet Zach Bean to close the show.
That one is grounded foul.
Now, I think we learned yesterday more than any other day, you don't want to count your chickens before they hatch.
Flores calling for time. (0-2) pitch. Called strike 3. Nope. I'm sorry. Yes, strike 3. What in the world happened there? Mark Flores, I don't know if he just didn't like where the pitch was or if he didn't think it was strike 3, but he fooled me for a second.
I think it might have been Alex Endell, the home plate umpire, that was a little fooled. He gave kind of a standard strike call.
So he didn't realize it was strike 3, maybe.
Right.
And then the scoreboard so quickly went to no count that I think everybody was a little bit confused as that one's fouled back by Summerhill, who's 0 for 2 tonight. No question. I think yesterday deserved to be called the Colin Summerhill game. This one is popped up right side. McGarry will watch it go out of play with a little bit of a leap out of the tarp. That's a little wrestling move type, using the prop and the tarp.
Sure. See McGarry being a wrestling guy.
Oh-2 pitch. High pop up into right field. Upshaw comes in, makes the catch. So a really nice job by Graham Firevet for the last 2 outs to the 6th. Head to the 7th with the Cougars leading 6-2. Colin Rusil back on the play-by-play. Well, we'll head to the bottom of the 6th. Welcome back to Northwestern Medicine Field. A 6-2 lead for the Cougars over the Gary South Shore Railcats. Danny Olivero back on for the bottom of the 6th. We do have the bottom of the 6th. I think I apparently forgot there's 2 half innings at the end of the top of the 6th. Well, we'd like to remind all the fans out there, coming up on July 10th is the Military Appreciation Night. The Cougars will be giving away a military cap sponsored by Molson Coors and Salute Inc. Make sure to come out on July the 10th as Dexter ropes that one into left field. A base hit for Sam. Start the bottom of the 6th, and he's hustling for second. And he'll be thrown out. Maybe a little bit of a misread out in the outfield. So tried to stretch the single into a double, but that is out number 1.
Yeah, not sure if Dex was just trying to throw off Kevin Watson Jr. I mean, he was motoring around first base. I was watching him. It looked like he was going all the way. But a better throw down there by Watson.
Nick D'Alessandro fouls off the pitch. Wait, we're getting some heat from Austin Jankowiak on the baseball knowledge after I would said it was going to the 7th inning after the top of the 6th. That is pretty bad. Line drive up the middle. And that is grabbed there by Peralta for out number 2.
It happens to the best of us. I think I tried to pass it over to you one time.
You did. Yeah. It happens. It's a long season, so the players make errors, broadcasters make errors. It happens. That's a pretty bad one. I'll say that. If I had to compare that to a play in the field, that's like dropping a pop-up on the infield.
That bad?
With no sun. Just no other factors, just a routine pop-up. Yeah, that's pretty bad. And we got a student shadowing us.
Oh, boy.
Or a recent graduate, and that's the example. 1-0 pitch to Upshaw. Fouled back.
Olivero's only allowed 3 hits since that first inning. Cougars have been putting bat on the ball, but I'd say Olivero's definitely settled in.
That one inside to Upshaw, who started this game off with a bang, the leadoff homer on the first pitch from Danny Olivero. You have to credit Olivero for, as you said, his ability to just bounce back and hang in there in this game. That one tapped foul, and I'm sure he'll get a lot of kudos from manager Jeff Isom and also the bullpen. Able to save some of the arms. A lot of times, you know, as a manager, you're thinking, oh boy, if my starter gives up 5 runs in the bottom of the first inning, will be lucky to get 3. 2-2, and that hits Upshaw. Now, I don't think that one was intentional.
No. 4-run game in the 6th and a potential strikeout situation. I don't think he was trying to do that. Especially with Upshaw already stealing the bag. I mean, we might see if he tries to put himself in scoring position again. Frank Plesac, the rail cat, warming up now. The bullpen down the left field line.
Here's Josh Allen 0 for 3 tonight, so he's due, looking to get in on the party. There's with 6 runs on 7 hits. 5 in that first inning, 1 in the bottom of the 4th. Check swing there from Josh. He did not go around on the appeal to Mayhew Edwards.
How about 3 of those hits to Todd Lott?
Great
a while
for him
since we've seen him have a multi-hit game. I mean, you said it. That's a bat that, when it wakes up.
Yeah, that's really exciting. Last year, I think if Todd had stayed a little bit healthier, had a couple of stints on the IL, I think he really could have been a threat in that MVP race. Calvin Estrada had ridiculous numbers for Sioux Falls, but you do have to factor in the ballparks there. Allen fouls back. Pitch.
Yeah, that's Todd's first multi-hit game since May 31st. His first with 3 hits in this season.
Yeah, I think Todd is starting to come along, and that is really exciting news for the Cougars offensively. It's now Upshaw on the move. The throw down to second is not in time. Another stolen base for Armand. His second of the ball game. And Upshaw now up to 13 steals in 15 attempts.
Yeah, he's certainly been a factor in this game. Obviously the leadoff home run for the Cougars in the bottom of the 1st, but reached on the drop first strike, got himself into scoring position, or 3rd strike, excuse me. He came around and scored again, and now he's standing on second base for the 3rd time in this game.
As this one is into center field, a base hit. Here comes Upshaw to the plate. It gets by the center fielder. Allen into second. It's 7-2 as Josh comes through to stretch the lead.
Well, and there you go again. Josh Allen gets an opportunity now with a runner in scoring position. A great piece of hitting right back up the middle. This is going to score Upshaw easily, but a little bit of a struggle with Howell on this ground ball. And now we've got Josh Allen sitting at second base.
And now Jeff Isom coming out. That'll be it for Danny Olivero. A pitching change for the Railcats. We'll take a break with the Cougars leading 7-2 over Gary South Shore. Bottom of the 6th inning, and Frank Plesac comes on as the new pitcher to the ballgame for the Gary South Shore Railcats. Plesac with a 4.26 ERA, 15 strikeouts, 2 walks, 25 and a third innings, 282 batting average against. We'll face Matt Botcher with 2 outs. Josh Allen over at second base. Botcher with a pop-up into left that'll hang up for Watson Jr. Makes the catch, so Frank Plesac 1 pitch, and he gets the final out of the bottom of the 6th. Now we'll head to the 7th inning with the Cougars leading 7-2. Colin Rudisil will be on the play-by-play. Back at Northwestern Medicine Field, a 7-2 lead for the Cougars. We entered the top of the 7th. And now back on the play-by-play, Colin Rudisil.
Thanks, Connor. From the first pitch to the last out, Carbless is your game day companion. Smooth, bold flavor and a ready-to-drink can. Perfect for enjoying all the action from the stands. Crack one open and make the most of every inning, every play, and every moment at the ballpark with Carbless. Bold flavor in every sip. A look at Elvis Peralta as he trots up for the first at bat here at the top of the 7th inning. Singleton scored his last time up, 1 for 2 in the game. He'll face Graham Firebed. Came in and got the last 2 outs to end the 6th inning. At least the top portion. All playing on the edge of the infield grass over at third base, just in case Peralta tries to lay down a cheeky bunt to the left side. Oppositely, Alex McGarry almost playing in shallow right field over at first, just on the outfield grass. The 1-1. Elvis watches that one low. He makes it 2-1. Firebed now falls behind 3-1 to Peralta. 8 walks on the season for Graham. That has been one area of concern if you had to pick one out. As Peralta fouls this one off and the count runs full. Firebed, a graduate of Virginia Tech. 9-0 record. He finished collegiately. 3 seasons, 2 at Beta Tech. This goes back up the middle and under the glove of Sam Dexter. So Elvis Peralta reaches on a leadoff single here in the 7th. Second hit of the game for him.
First baseman number 13, Chris Jacobs.
It was exactly what we saw in the 5th inning. A leadoff single by Peralta, and then Jacobs powered a ball that hopped over the wall in left field and set up second and third with nobody out. Luckily, just 1 run pushed across there. Firebed looking for a ground ball here. And he gets one. Chopper. Final fields it cleanly. Goes to Allen for 1 and back over to first for 2. A clean 5-4-3. Double play.
Claudio Final made that look routine, but what a pick here on this hop. It's kind of a tough, it was a trickier play than it looked like. See a look at the replay here. Look at that, just scooping up the hop. He knew he kind of had to attack that baseball, get the momentum going to turn 2 there. Really well done.
Now the base pass clear for Nick Podkul. That is a good sign. 6 home runs on the year for Podkul. Much rather face him with nobody aboard. It's a 5-run lead for the Cougars as Firebed gets a half-hearted swing. Now it's 0-2. Cougars have Jake Gilbert warming up down the right field line. Firebed just misses low. Felt that one slip out of his hand. Podkul 0 for 1. He had a sacrifice fly in that 5th inning. He pops this one sky high. Sam Dexter, just outside in the shallow left field area, makes the catch. So Firebed works around a leadoff single. We're going to the bottom of the 7th inning, stretching in Kane County. It's 7-2 Cougars. The YMCA ringing out at Northwestern Medicine Field, as is tradition. After the 7th inning stretch, a 7-2 lead for Kane County. We enter the back third of this game. Matt Hardy singing the 7th inning stretch along with Haley Kowalski. Our MC did a fantastic job. A lot better than his first pitch, I'll say. Another look at the Bumble bobblehead. Christmas in July on July 11th, 6:30 p.m. Make sure you're here. Post-game fireworks. Another great bobblehead giveaway. Todd Lott is 3 for 3 in this game. Came around and scored in the first inning, an RBI single in the fourth. And he turns on this one and blasts it deep down the left field line and foul. 105 off the bat. That was smoked.
That was crushed. Just unfortunately a little in front of it. But you can tell Todd is locked in right now, Colin. And this is great to see. Really good sign for the Cougars offensively.
See what Plesac goes to after that. The 0-1. Drops in a strike. Good location on the outside part of the plate. It speaks to the trust that George Samus has in Todd Lott. When healthy, he's been sitting right at that 4 spot, despite some of the struggles. Back up the middle again for Lott. This one sneaks through. Base hit number 4. Todd Lott batting 1,000 on wrestling night.
Well, he's back. 4 for 4. That has to feel great for Todd. Just, he's been battling injury throughout the year, feeling a lot better now, and you can see the results.
Brings up Alex McGarry. Came around and scored in the first after reaching on an air. He's 0 for 3. Swings at the first pitch. This one's driven into center field. Howell calls off Watson and makes the catch for out number 1. Plesac bounces back after giving off the leadoff single. He'll have to face Claudio Finaldo. This game picked up double number 15 on the season. RBIs number 31 and 32 as he continues to climb the ranks on the RBI scale in the American Association. Without looking around the league and seeing who has RBIs, currently tied for 6th in the American Association with RBIs. He falls behind 0-2 against Frank Plesac. Go 2. Line outside. Lott with a conservative lead off first base. All lays off that off-speed pitch. Good put-out pitch there by Plesac, but didn't fool Final. Another pitch missing outside. So Claudio coming back in this at bat after being down 0-2. It runs full. Seven runs, 9 hits for Kane County in this one. And hopefully counting. 3-2. Claudio rips one, but fouled off the wall down the left field line. Plesac with just 2 walks on the season. As Claudio goes back up the middle and through. A base hit. Back-to-back center field singles. Well, I should say 2 in this inning between Todd Lott and Claudio Final.
Yeah, 2-hit ball game for Final. And that is now back-to-back games that the Cougars have had at least 10 hits.
Look out.
Well, you figured at some point, it wasn't, as we were watching this stretch, it wasn't a ton of strikeouts. It wasn't non-competitive at-bats.
Charles Mack takes strike one.
We did see a good amount of pop-outs, but there was a lot of bad luck mixed in. Hard hit balls that were getting caught, balls into the gap, diving catches being made, great picks on the infield.
It's been a good approach tonight and yesterday as Mack now skies this one high in the infield. Elvis Peralta calling everybody off and makes the catch.
Didn't even need to with the infield fly. I think he dropped it
at the
end,
it.
But
it was an infield fly. Well, again, you just assume it's so routine with Elvis. That one was a mile high, though, by Charles Mack. Infield fly rule in effect, though, from Jeff Osborne. So 2 outs regardless. We'll stick with runners at first and second. Sam Dexter has reached twice in this game, hit by pitch, and then singled back in the 6th. As he tracks that off-speed pitch that lands for strike one.
Thank goodness for the infield fly rule.
Yeah, on that play.
Right? I mean, it's just, it would be so unfair if you could just drop that and have an automatic double play, essentially.
Dexter tries to go the opposite way, but fouls it out. Absolutely.
Because the runners are, what are they going to do?
Oh, you're trapped.
That's what I love about baseball is there's, so many of the rules just, they thought of every situation and said, okay, we need to do this. And the game continues to evolve with things like the pitch clock.
Well, and it seems like, I mean, every season you'll see something you've never seen before. That just seems impossible. 0-2 fouled off.
Sometimes it feels like every week you'll see something you've never seen before. I mean, I've never seen someone rob a home run, hit a 3-run homer, and have a game-tying hit in the 9th inning. I wish I hadn't seen that yesterday, but that was a first.
That certainly happened. Cougars have done a nice job putting that in the rear view, at least so far today. Dexter pops this one up. This looks like it's going to be a souvenir right in front of us. It bounced off a strike zone table.
I almost went to Andrew Mild over there.
He didn't seem too ready to react to that one, just looking over.
Andrew was hearing it from some of the Cougars fans yesterday. It was a little bit of a unique circumstance with that rain delay. They could hear every word of his broadcast.
Dexter fouls this one off into the glove of Cooper Edwards, in and out, so he'll stay alive. Someone really likes Sam Dexter out there. Sam Dexter fan club right in front of us. I'd join it.
Sam's a great guy. Great addition to the Cougars.
He's got a 4-game hit streak now. Starting to find that bat again. As he pokes this one softly to the left side. Peralta fields it on the run, throws across, not in time. Sam Dexter muscles out an infield single. And the bases are now loaded for Nick D'Alessandro.
Great hustle from Sam. He's now got a 2-hit game.
3 Cougars with multiple hits between Lott, Final, and Dexter in this one. Nick D'Alessandro is yet to join the hit party, but he has been swinging a good bat. 15-game on-base streak for Delly, 7 for his last 20. And he pokes this one down the right field line, and it's down. It'll go to the wall. Todd Lott scores. Final right behind him. Dexter getting the big wave, and he'll trot in a bases-clearing double for Nick D'Alessandro.
Well, talk about joining the party. Nick D'Alessandro going the opposite way for the bases clearing two-bagger. And the hit parade continues. And double digits. Boy, does that feel good to see.
3-run score as the lead swells to 10-2.
I'm going to pull out the vocabulary, Colin. This is cathartic right
I like
here.
that.
This game for the Cougars feels like a weight has been lifted. Sometimes there's games in the course of the season, you know, every win and loss counts the same, but there's ones that feel like almost 2 wins. Now, there's still work to be done here, but right now this feels, I mean, huge for this team.
Upshaw, hard grounder that gets through the right side. D'Alessandro gets the wave around, and it's an RBI single for Armand.
Have a night, Armand Upshaw. That leadoff homer, he scored 3 runs. Now his second hit of the ball game. What a night. Cougars seeing the ball so well.
What a response. I mean, it is tough, no matter who you are, no matter what team you are, to take a loss like the Cougars did yesterday and to just keep that momentum, at least on the offensive end. Trust your pitching will be there for you and strike back like they have through 7 innings. 11-2, our current score. 4 runs put up here in the 7th and counting.
The Cougars' lead has gotten so big that fans are trying to start a wave at Northwestern Medicine Field.
It's kind of gaining some traction. Allen 1 for 4 today. He's got an RBI single. 1-1 turned on. Backhanded there by Podkol. He throws across the diamond in time. But not before Kane County puts up a 4 spot. 11-2. Smackdown being laid down as we go to the top of the 8th inning. Connor Clingan back on the play-by-play. 11-2 the score as we head into the 8th inning. Ball gets passed over to Jake Gilbert. 6 outs left for the Cougars to complete this win, avoid the sweep, and back on the play-by-play is Connor Clingan.
Thank you very much, Colin, and we'll remind you before we get the numbers on Jake Gilbert, this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Commissioner of the American Association of Professional Baseball. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. So Jake Gilbert comes on. Big right-hander, 4 1/3 innings on the year, 4.15 ERA, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks. 267 batting average against. He'll face 8-9-1 for the Railcats. And that lead getting even more comfortable for the Cougars with that big 4 spot in the bottom of the 7th inning. A 9-run edge for Gilbert to come into. Jake has been very good recently. 3 straight innings of perfect relief work. Wildcats saw him in the first game of this series. I shouldn't say, well, at least it's hitless and scoreless, so no hit relief work. He did issue a walk on Tuesday night. That's in for a strike, 2-1. What a great crowd tonight at Northwestern Medicine Field for wrestling night. Matt Hardy.
He might have rallied the troops with his 7th inning stretch singing.
Swing and a miss there, 2-2. How'd it sound?
A lot better than his first pitch is what I put it as.
Actually stepped away for a moment during. I'm a little upset I missed it.
It was good. Root for the Cougars, nailed the line. Did his signature delete in the middle of it.
I'm gonna have to go watch some Matt Hardy clips. See some of the signature moves. 2-2, called strike 3. location there from Gilbert.
Catcher number 7, Cooper Edwards.
Now Cooper Edwards will step in. 1 for 2, had a solo homer back in the 3rd inning. Second home run of the year for Edwards. Well, we've mentioned throughout the week these two teams, they've gotten very familiar. This is their 6th game against each other in the month of June. Wave and a miss. And then next week, Monday through Thursday, 4-game series for the Cougars at the Steelyard in Gary. And some exciting news for Cougars fans out there. We're going to have the road call of those games at the Steelyard. That's the Rail Cats. So make sure to go to the visiting audio as much as we love Andrew Mild, as Cooper Edwards fouls it over the right side. Let's hope the road experience goes better than Milwaukee.
Yeah.
This one, low and in, 1 and 2.
Say that again. Something to add to this game, too, Connor. I'm just looking at my book. It's 10 out of 11 of these runs scored by the Cougars have come with 2 outs.
1-2. This is high. Well, that's always a recipe for success. Your ability to come away with hits, keep innings going.
Yeah, the only one, the leadoff homer by Armand.
2-2 pitch. Edwards out in front of it.
But I think we've seen, even as the run total started to grow, the hit total has been pretty high for the Cougars, but we haven't seen the runs following it. Tonight, 11 runs, 13 hits. That's what you want to see.
Most runs the Cougars have scored since June 13th, which was a 9-4 win over these Railcats.
4 extra base hits in this game as well. That was something that the Cougars were kind of lacking during this tough stretch.
Couple of home runs. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Jake Gilbert. And what's especially helpful about that, Colin, is now the Cougars head to Sioux Falls in the Birdcage. We know that's a very hitter-friendly ballpark. It's going to feel downright tiny in comparison to Northwestern Medicine Field.
Yeah, that's true. Good time for the bats to start heating up.
And anytime you face the Canaries, you got to watch out for their bats. Here's Corey Howell. Bouncer, third base side. Final charging, fires across. Not in time. Too much speed from Corey Howell. He has his second hit of the night.
Yeah, this was best on best. I mean, Claudio Final is so good at charging in on those slow rollers. And he didn't do anything wrong on this. It was just more speed by Corey Howell.
Good hustle by Howell. That's something you see, too, from the Railcats. You know, you're down in a game 11-2. You know, it'd be easy not to run 100% there for Corey Howell, but we've seen it. I mean, we saw it yesterday, unfortunately. This team has a lot of fight. And I don't mean it as an insult, because sometimes this can come across an insult, but this team is really scrappy. Just in the sense, don't mean it in the sense that they're small or anything like that, but just they're going to battle, they're going to fight, they're going to work at bats, work counts. They're a tough team to play against, and the Cougars have seen that the last few weeks.
They play with a lot of heart,
yes.
And I think that speaks to, you know, Jeff Isom and his reign that he started in the culture he's starting to build in this Gary team.
1-1 pitch, low and away. And we've mentioned before, Obviously, Gary is a team in the division, so you don't want them to do too well. You're competing with them for the division crown, but it's good to see them back to being competitive after a couple of years in the basement of the East Division. There's a check swing, but he went around. Railcats have a good fan base, nice ballpark at the Steel Yard. If you're a Cougars fan and you haven't been out to the Steel Yard, recommend making the trip next week. It's a really nice place to take in a game. 2-2, down low, it's full count. Three and two here to Cooper Weiss. Jake Gilbert looks to end the top of the 8th inning. Here's the payoff. Bounce to the right side. McGarry, it glances off the glove. Allen tries to back it up. Weiss will reach, and that does go as an E3. A little bit of a tricky one because of the way it was hit. Especially as a first baseman, you're trying to keep your body angled so that you're able to go cover first base. And here's Mark Flores. Swing and a miss at the first pitch. First error of the ball game for the Cougars. We mentioned it earlier. These two teams coming into tonight the top two in terms of fielding percentage, but it's been 2 errors from the Railcats, 1 from the Cougars tonight. So that one gets away. Both runners will advance.
You got a lot of runs to play with, but you're Jake Gilbert, obviously for momentum and for your own numbers, you want to keep this where it is. Unearned run at least at second base.
1-1 pitch. And that one got away from Mack, but he's able to find it quickly.
But for the bullpen as well, I mean, they're starting to see somebody standing up now in the Cougars bullpen, but the plan might be for Gilbert to go the rest of this game and try to conserve some of those arms before the Sioux Falls series.
The 2-1 pitch. Popped up foul. 2-2. Little tapper as Flores stays alive. And this game hopefully should help out the run differential for the Cougars. Still came into this game at plus 26. So their expected win-loss record, according to iScore, 19-14. Plus 26, that's a very good run differential.
Absolutely.
A lot of that due to the beginning of the season, Cougars had a good amount of blowout wins. And also just their run prevention. Second in the league in team ERA. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Jake Gilbert. He puts up a 0. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Cougars looking to pile on a little bit more. They lead 11-2. Back in Northwestern Medicine Field, a happy Cougars dugout with an 11-2 lead over the Gary South Shore Railcats. Final game of this series. And a new pitcher into the ball game for Gary South Shore. It is Jake Hoover. 9 2/3 innings, a 12-10 ERA. 7 strikeouts, 7 walks. has given up 13 earned runs on 14 hits. A 318 batting average against for Hoover. So he's had his fair share of struggles. A little mop-up duty here for the Railcats, just trying to eat up this bottom of the 8th inning. I want to make sure we tell you about July 3rd, post-game fireworks that night before the 4th of July. First pitch to Botcher is fouled away. Those fireworks will be sponsored by Pyrotechnico. Skydivers also appearing pregame on July 3rd. Make sure to come out for 4th of July weekend. That is going to be an extravaganza at Northwestern Medicine Field. Here's a swing and a miss, 0-2. I can't wait to see that crowd all weekend, really, but especially on a Saturday night, 4th of July, 250th anniversary of the United States of America. That is going to be a blast.
Oh, yeah. Big bobblehead giveaway that day as well. Our founding father, George Washington.
That is sponsored by Hyundai. There's a swing and a miss. Ball gets away. Botcher heading for first, but a nice toss by Cooper Edwards. Route number 1. That George Washington bobblehead's going to be a hot commodity.
I think I'm really into Mount Rushmores today, but I think it would go quite literally for George Washington on my Mount Rushmore.
Has to be the first part of the Mount Rushmore bobblehead. Well, another favorite bobblehead among Cougars fans, the Pope Leo bobblehead. We have another one of those coming in the last weekend of the season as Todd Lott takes a strike. Did you see today A.J. Pierzynski met Pope Leo?
I did see this.
And I just saw a quote when A.J. went to go meet the Pope. He said, "You don't have to introduce yourself. I know who you are." Pope Leo said that. Of course, a big Chicago White Sox fan who was at Game 1 of the World Series. And Pierzynski gave him the ball from Game 1 of that World Series, the one that Pope Leo was at. As this is hit sharply on the ground by Lott over to first. And that is out number 2. So Todd will have to settle for 4 for 5 tonight. But a great night for Todd Lott. 4 hits, including an RBI single in that 4th inning. But the other quote that I saw from that meeting between Pierzynski and Pope Leo is as A.J. was walking away, he said, "The White Sox are in first place, by the way," and the Pope said back to him, "Oh, I know, I've been watching." That has been pretty cool to have a Pope from the Chicagoland area, one who follows baseball. Got to find a way to get him one of the 2 Cougars bobbleheads. I think we can do it.
That'd be amazing. Guess we got to take a trip to the Vatican.
And we've tried to figure out before, we haven't been able to, did Pope Leo ever come to a Kane County Cougars game? It's definitely not impossible. I mean, he was living in the Chicagoland area. He was going to White Sox games. There is a chance that he came to a Kane County Cougars game. 1-1 to McGarry, and he's out in front of it. 1-2.
It'd be kind of surreal to sit down on your seat and think, did the Pope sit here?
We've had some famous people come through Kane County. We don't know about the Pope. That's just speculation.
That's hearsay.
Maybe he did. 1-2 to McGarry. Popped up foul. By the way, if you were with us earlier, mentioned that Alex's mom, Carrie, she requested the poster of wrestling night. It's got an awesome picture of Alex and a lot of his teammates. And Jamia Green, Cam Stevens coming through. They're sending her a file of it. They're going to have it hung up in the clubhouse back at home. As there's a swing and a miss from Perry down on strikes. So a 1-2-3 inning there for Jake Hoover. go to the top of the ninth. Cougars looking to close out a big win, leading 11-2. Top of the ninth inning. A lot of young fans enjoying the game on a Thursday night at Northwestern Medicine Field. A big lead for the Cougars, 11-2. And the new pitcher into the ball game is Ernie Day. First appearance for Ernie in a week here. Day with an 8.31 ERA. 13 strikeouts, 10 walks, and 13 innings of work. He'll face 4, 5, and 6. Gary South Shore Railcats beginning with Colin Summerhill. But this has been just the kind of night that the Cougars have needed, especially in response to yesterday's game. So here's Summerhill, 0 for 3 on the night. Ernie, a native of Chicago. Now his family residing out in Freeport, Illinois. Home of the pretzels.
Sounds delicious.
I know our social media manager, Jamia Green, went to Freeport High School, a pretzel. Now, Ernie did not go to Freeport High School. He went to high school in the city, Taft High School.
Her official title is Director of Marketing and Social Media.
Yes. My apologies to Jamia.
And I only say that because I messed it up and she brought her business card in here.
If she hears it, I'm going to be in trouble.
I still have the card. Maybe I pass it on to you now.
I'll take it. There we go. Director of Marketing and Social Media, Jamia Green. My apologies. Here's Elvis Peralta. He's 2 for 3. So with the win tonight, the Cougars would pull back in front of the Railcats by a half game. Gary South Shore has played one more game than the Cougars. Cougars would have them by a half game in the loss column. That took me some time as a kid to figure out how baseball standings worked with the half game.
It's confusing if you don't understand it.
Yes.
To see a team with more wins still be behind a team that has less wins. Or the same amount. You don't understand what I'm saying.
Yes. This one's popped up left center field. Dexter goes out, makes the catch. Nice play by Sam, quickly getting out there and calling for it. Cougars after this one, they'll be out in Sioux Falls, the Birdcage, 3 games against the Canaries. And then straight back from taking on the Canaries, it's back to Gary. Railcats series starting on Monday night, 4 games. The U.S. Steel Yards. Chris Jacobs takes Lone away. Back home for 3 against the Milkmen. That 4th of July series. 1-0 to Jacobs. Low and away. Got some fans standing right below the booth right now, enjoying the game. It's been good to see a lot of youth baseball teams out here. Little league teams, travel teams taking in the game tonight. That's when you know it's really summer, Colin, on what would be a school night. Tons of kids out at the ballpark.
They've been in it all game, too. Starting chants, the wave. Surprised we haven't seen tarps off, to be completely honest.
Swing and a miss. 2-2 the count here to Jacobs. Nice pitch there from Day. Big fastball from Ernie at 96. We know he can really fire it up on the fastball. See if he goes right back to it here. 2-2. Does go to the fastball, but this time Jacobs pokes it into right field, a base hit. First and second for the Railcats with one away. Taking a look around the rest of the league here tonight. Lake Country with a 9-4 lead over Milwaukee. That came in the top of the 9th inning. Elsewhere in the East Division, Cleburne with an 8-5 lead over the Dogs. That came in the bottom of the 8th. Sioux Falls and Kansas City were rained down. Sioux City with a 6-4 lead over Winnipeg. I was talking to George Samus before this game, and he said, I never like when the team we're playing has a rainout before. Saves him a day on pitching. They're able to line everything up. It is a great point. It's something that is underrated when you look at the structure of a season, is how those postponements can affect things. Sometimes it can benefit you. Obviously, when you have to make up games, it can hurt you when you have to play. Sometimes you're going to end up playing 6 games in 5 days, or going to have those tough stretches with double headers. But in this instance, for the Canaries, it benefits them a little bit to get rained out on the road, able to get back home a little bit earlier. And that one was called early today in Kansas City. A lot of storms out down in Kansas. One to Podkol, in for a strike. And the Monarchs do play in Kansas. So American Association fans are well aware of that, but I think more people are going to be familiar with Kansas City, Kansas, now that the Chiefs are going to be moving there.
It's true.
2-2 inside Podkol. Podkol 0 for 2 tonight. Did drive in a run on a sac fly back in the 5th inning. Ernie Day trying to put this one to bed. Needs 2 more outs. 3-2. Called strike 3. Fastball at the top of the zone at 96 from Day. And the Cougars are 1 out away from a win.
That's what you get with Ernie Day. He can definitely dial it up. He's just got to locate. When he does, he is a dangerous man with a ball in his hand.
Kevin Watson Jr., the last hope for Gary South Shore. He's 0 for 3 tonight. First pitch in for a strike. 11 runs for the Cougars tonight. The offense has been the story, but the pitching has been great as well. Weston Muir only allowing 2 runs. So far, it's been zeros from the bullpen. 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Day is 1 strike away. Fans getting up on their feet. Time called by Watson. Day looks in. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. The Cougars win. A smackdown to the Railcats on a wrestling night, 11-2. A much-needed win for the Cougars to salvage one in this series. They score 11 runs on 13 hits. And Weston Muir with a strong performance. 5 1/3. He gives up only 2 runs. And then the bullpen slamming the door the rest of the way. A great team win for the Cougars.
Exactly what we were talking about at the top, Connor, that this team has all of the pieces. They just need to figure out how to fit them all together and put together a complete game. It's exactly what they did today. I don't think you could ask much more from anybody. 11 runs, 13 hits, Weston Muir and the bullpen looking great. 10 total strikeouts between them, while only allowing 2 runs on 7 hits against a hot team in these Railcats.
And the Railcats have been playing some really good baseball. I have to give them credit. They do still win the series, but a much-needed win for the Cougars. We said it at one point in the later innings. This is one of those wins that, yeah, it's just one in the win column, but it feels almost like 2 wins just because of how much this team needed it and the way they did it.
Yeah, and especially after what happened yesterday. I mean, that was such a tough way to lose, and we kind of touched on it. It would be so easy to just kind of come out and have that defeatist attitude. We already lost the series, and instead, they turn it around. They add runs to the hit total that they were seeing from yesterday. They put together a complete pitching performance. That's the kind of performance you need going to the birdcage in a championship rematch.
That's going to be a lot of fun out in Sioux Falls. 3 games against the Canaries. Tanner Hoops will have you covered on the call for those 3 from the birdcage out in Sioux Falls. But Colin, this game too, it's just 1 game, so you can't call anything a hot streak or anything like that. But this feels like a game that is going to be a turning point for this team.
Yeah, it feels like this is where it starts to upswing again for Kane County. It was such a struggle to just scratch across hits, and especially, let alone runs. As you mentioned, 10 runs going into tonight over the last, 7 games? And 11 runs they put up in 1 game. 4 extra base hits, 2 home runs to be added to that. I mean, this was definitely the kind of game they were looking for at the plate.
A great performance all around from the Cougars, just what this team needed. It all got started in that first inning, a 5-run frame, and Armand Upshaw on the first pitch. I think he set the tone for what tonight was going to be like.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about how the hits are contagious, and Armand is one that believes in that more than anybody on this team. And 1 pitch to hit a bomb like he did and just set up that first inning, that was huge. Everybody followed suit after that. You have 4 different Cougars with at least 2 RBIs in this game. Todd Lott putting together 4 hits. We talked about him. If that bat starts getting consistent, that's going to be dangerous right in the middle part of this order.
Well, that's going to make a huge difference, especially when you have Matt Botcher in that 3 spot who's been really consistent, but have Lott behind him. Back to the Todd Lott of last year, which we saw tonight. That's really exciting for the potential of this team offensively.
Yeah, and I know the Cougars didn't get the job done yesterday, but you saw a lot of guys step up, including Matt Botcher, when Claudio Final didn't even have a hit. He's the one that was leading this team in RBIs. Today, Botcher struggles a little bit, but Claudio Final looks great. Nick D'Alessandro puts together some RBIs. Todd Lott looks good. This is the kind of thing you need. When guys are starting to slump a little bit, you have other guys that can pick up the slack. Instead of everybody peaking at once or everybody dipping at once, you have a little bit of a balance.
24 hits and 16 runs for the Cougars over the last 2 games. That is what we call offensive momentum for Kane County, and carrying it into, as we said, a ballpark that is very hitter-friendly in Sioux Falls.
Oh yeah, the ball flies off that, and you don't have to look any further than Claudio Final and his grand slam. I mean, he told us he didn't think that ball had a chance. He looked up, and everybody's getting out of the dugout, getting excited. It flies. It's going to be a good series, a fun one as it was last year between Sioux Falls and Kane County. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we won't be there for that one, but make sure to tune in. AABaseball.tv. Tanner Hoops will have you covered. For the call, we'll be back in Gary Monday night against the Railcats. 4-game set for the Cougars and Railcats starting next week before the Cougars come back home to take on the Milkmen for 4th of July weekend. But a great win here tonight. That's going to wrap up our coverage. For our producer, Mike, my partner, Colin Rudisil, Connor Klingent saying good night from Northwestern Medicine Field. Once again, the Cougars win 11-2 over the Railcats. Thanks for tuning in. This has been a presentation of AABaseball.tv and Home Team Network.